Hello, hello! Welcome back, ladies and gents, to another installment of the Change My Mind podcast, part of the hashtag Dorkshire Gooniverse, along with Geeks Worldwide Radio, and of course, we can't forget our friends at Midnight.fm. We've discovered a map on the back of the Declaration of Independence. Our podcast is chosen, Nick. 60% of the time, we work every time, and nobody makes us bleed our own blood. Nobody. Nick, mark that down. I am Wesley Sykes, and through the other side of the ether is the Brick Tamlin to my West Mantooth, Mr. Nick Fryer. Nick, what is good?
So much for being nicer to me in 2021. Woo! Hey, guess what? You messed up, dickhead. That's what you get for calling me Brick Tamlin.
Come on, it was Brick Tamlin or it was Champ Kind, you know? Brick Tamlin's memorable.
Yeah, well, I guess Champ Kind. He turned out to be he just turned out to be gay for Ron later. That's all it is, right? Yeah, that's all it was. Okay, yeah, I'd rather take Brick than Champ than Brick. So what the hell?
Brian Fantana was off the table. Just so you know, he's too cool for school there. Nick, we have a very fun episode in store. We had to throw a little bit of a curveball here, but before we do that, Nick, I have an intro question for you, and perhaps we could bring in our guest at the moment to help with this. Yeah, we do. I don't want to introduce him just yet, but okay. You can only eat one category of food for the rest of your life, Nicholas, and those are Italian, Mexican, Asian, or American, which I defined as like burgers and fries and barbecue. Like, what are you choosing? And to help with that answer, I'm going to bring in a regular beefcake in a DSG in his own right, Billy D 2411 of the Pop Culture Piledriver.
And I've heard it both ways.
Of course.
Where I always screw up the intro.
Not me.
You know what I haven't heard is that we have friggin' Billy D on tonight. I would not have greenlit this.
That's true, yeah. Well, hopefully you guys can hash it out. It's been a while since, of course, your last appearance with our dear friend Doc on the CMM debate. Fatal four-way matchup between Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. So, Billy, welcome back. But on to more pressing matters. Let me repeat the question one more time. You can only eat one category of food for the rest of your life: Italian, Mexican, Asian, or American. What are you choosing?
Man. I mean, probably Mexican because it's more versatile than anything. I would say Italian to get the pizza, but I do want to get into a decent shape right now. I am a round shape. I feel like if I ate in Mexican more often, you can go burrito bowl, but you can still have a burrito if you want to, really spice things up. They have some pretty good desserts too, so it's tough.
I think I'm going to go Mexican too for the same reason Bill's talking about, that it generally has the healthier options. But if I'm talking strictly flavor, I'm probably going to go with Asian. But with Italian too, hey, Wes, you've been to Riccardi's over in New Bedford. They have the gluten-free pizza. Oh my God, I can eat a whole thing in one night. I don't gain a pound. It's amazing. So I'm going Mexican, but there are a lot of other good options.
It's tough. Italian, this time of the year, it's a lot of comfort food. You got a lot of lasagna, a lot of pasta, a lot of meat sauce, maybe some of the gabagool, as Mr. Brian Antonelli, who just chimed in on the stream here. So that's tough. Mexican, I like the health factor of it. It usually runs through you quick too. It doesn't stay in the system long, which I think also is a benefit. Asian food, though, I won't sleep on that because it's Asia, big country. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you guys are up on your topographical skills.
India is still considered Asia.
But yeah, you got some Thai food in there. You got some Japanese. You got some little hibachi, some a little bit of sushi action there. I might go Asian food there.
Just hold
COVID, am I right, guys?
Right? Yeah, no bat, please. Thank you. It's definitely my number two. If we're talking flavor and they're all on the same level of health, I would probably go Asian in this too. But
all right, well, I appreciate you guys taking the time, and of course, Billy, we brought you in here today because we are going back to another 5-star idea, of course, from the mind of very own Wesley J. Sykes, and it's the Build a Cinema Draft 2004. So we are going to be doing exactly what that title entails. We'll be building a cinema based off of 6 categories, which we will explain a little bit later in the program, based off the movies that were released in the year 2004. Great year. Red Sox reversed the curse that year. What else happened? Patriots won 3 out of 4 Super Bowls.
Yes. Sure did. Yes, they did. That's Bill's favorite team.
You look at it, right? 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4. That Super Bowl thing is always kind of tricky.
It's 3 out of 4, I think.
Yeah, but the 2004 Super Bowl that happened for the 2003 year, right? That was February 2004.
Gotcha.
So wouldn't technically it have been 2005 it happened? This would be the 2005.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm saying. So now we're just caught up in a time loop here. We don't know,
Well, you would have got both technically, right? It would be the 2004 season and like the 2003 championship too, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Madden rules, man. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, who really knows? But I think that's a very pressing question as we move forward to our trending now, Nick and Billy. WandaVision season 1, episode 4. Who knows what's going on here? What are your thoughts? We got a point of view from the sword perspective, which I love. A little bit of a Monica Rambeau backstory. I have a question. Where are we in the MCU timeline? What does it all mean, Nick? That's what we want to know.
Oh, that is a good point. Before we get into all that, though, the way they've brought everything together. I mean, look, Marvel's amazing at this all the time, right? Connecting the dots and having characters cross paths and everything. That's why one of the big reasons why they've been so successful. But they always do it with the bigger names more so than anything. We've seen them do it with smaller characters, but this time they did it in a way like we have somebody who we saw from Thor, we get Ant-Man, and then, of course, Monica Rambeau with her mom from Captain Marvel. Just 3 characters you'd never necessarily think are going to cross paths. And when we saw, what is it Agent Woo? Is that his name?
Woo, Jimmy Woo.
Okay, so when we see him, as soon as I saw him show up, I was like, I gasped, honest to God, because it's like I would never have thought. And the same thing with Darcy too. I mean, we can't get enough Kat Jennings, right? Is Mac a big fan of her? Is that who it is? I think.
I mean, I think he's a big fan of a part of her. Yeah.
Is it Jennings or Dennings? I can't remember. She stinks.
Jennings.
Jennings. Yeah, it's Kat. I wasn't a big fan of her in this. Of course, she's
an
integral part in. Nice. Well done. So really that one in on the rug there. But she plays an integral part of the puzzle here, right? I want to know though. So when Monica Rambeau gets sent out through the sphere or whatever, and she's glowing and that stuff, right? She's going to become a superhero at some point, right? Young Avengers at some point. Does Scarlet Witch Wanda give her powers there? Is that something you see maybe a little later on?
I don't think so. I don't get the impression that that's going to happen.
I believe she becomes Photon later on in the show and then a little bit of illusion when they show Maria Rambeau Photon, her little plaque on the wall there.
Or was that a way of them saying we respect the past and we're going to acknowledge it, but moving forward, we're not going to have her do that?
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
Billy, you want to weigh in here?
Oh, Billy's still
on that stuff. No, I have no idea. I know that if you Google that name, it comes up as she's like a Marvel character, so obviously she's going to be a superhero at some point, maybe in the universe. Mm-hmm. But I think the show is amazing. I've loved the first 4 episodes. This last one, goosebumps, even in like the recap, and then once you got into that intro scene, it was amazing. It's just so brilliant because now I think that you've opened up so many different things that you can do. You can do different points throughout that like period of time between Infinity War and Endgame, and they would be compelling pieces of storytelling because people were gone, and like you could do some great stuff with that. And then I just really liked, the way they weave the story back and forth throughout, like, and on the old TV. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah,
and I know you mentioned this from the get in the group chat, Billy, about that first 3 minutes, and you get that blip thing. I thought that was awesome because we get the blip come back in Spider-Man: Far From Home, and it looks kind of joyous and it's kind of fun and like ceremonial. But this is chaotic. This is probably what it would really be in the hospital like that. So I really like that. Nick and I always talk about this on the show about what's average people doing in a day-to-day life in the MCU world. So I think that was kind of an interesting look. But the timeline thing had me confused. So this is
really
it's like 3 weeks in a day is what I figured out on here. So so how long is Endgame? How long are the events of Endgame in this movie? Because the blip comes back with the Hulk snap, right? That's when everyone comes back, right? So how long are the events from where Wanda comes back? In the final fight scene to kick Thanos' ass, and she really has that great impression to where she is now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point because I did out loud while watching this episode say, how long is this taking? Because it said 24 hours later, right? They had the whole thing set up after Monica got sucked in. And then was it it seemed like it was the next day or something to that effect where Kat Dennings found her in the course of it all, and then she gets released. So yeah, that was a little weird. That's a good point, Wes.
And they say the acting director of Sword there, that guy, with the strong jaw, he was saying that it's been, you've reported 3 weeks back and you're the first one to report back here. So I'm not surprised that you were the first one. So that's when like all those events kind of start kicking off. And then it's the 24 hours later, so 3 weeks in a day. How long is this show? So that's like, as soon as they start tying in everything to the MCU, that's where my mind kind of runs and it takes me out of the show. I'm not saying as a knock, but that's kind of like, they built up everything where I want to know all that kind of connective tissue and everything.
I mean, I think they give you a pretty good dead giveaway of what happened to Wanda and where she went right after the battle. Because, I mean, we're basically spoiling stuff now anyways, right?
Yeah, come on, that's what we do.
For this episode, yeah.
So, like, when Vision, like, his head was all cracked up at the end of that episode and he was kind of, like, dying, she can manipulate time, right? So she probably went back to the time right before he died and is now keeping him alive in this weird state.
I don't know if she can manipulate time. She like that,
according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, well, that is, in fairness, her power.
Really known contributor to Wikipedia, by the way.
It's very true.
That's right.
I might.
But I don't think they've put an official limit on what Wanda's powers are in the MCU. In fairness, but I don't think that would be a reach. I think if they decide to do that, but she's either doing that or she's reanimating Vision. Either way, but Wes, I think you did clear it up a little bit for the timeline. We now see it's been 3 weeks pretty much since the events of Endgame that this happened, because that the Rambeau getting sucked in and her getting kicked out was basically a day, if not 2.
Yeah, and the other thing that kind of tipped me off to the timeline, of course, is Wu, doing the magic trick on the card. So that's obviously post Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, he's obviously picked up the close hand magic stuff from Scott Lang there, which I love. Last thing on WandaVision, who is Wu's informant? That was something that I haven't seen brought up in a lot of like things that I've read and watched after that. So the whole reason why he came out to this town was because he lost an informant. That's what he was saying to Monica Rambeau. Who's the informant?
It's got to be. What's Catherine Hahn's character's name again?
Agnes? I don't know.
Yes, yeah. No,
Is it?
It's definitely her, because in the comics she has abilities too. She's not.
But they don't ID her on the thing. They have licenses to everyone else except for her.
Mm-hmm.
She also right before Vision went back in the house, when he heard the noise, she was like, "Well, we're all here because ... So maybe she knows something.
She definitely knows something.
Oh yeah, she's a witch. She's a witch. She's been around forever. Yeah. That's my that's just my prediction.
So do we burn her?
Don't listen to the spoilers that are out there. I caved because that's the type of person that I am. But I think very interesting stuff coming up for episode 5. We got more MCU news though, Nick.
Before we do that, real quick, I came across a spoiler before I saw the episode because I waited till night to watch it, and I was over on Instagram and somebody posted a picture of Vision at the end of the episode, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, I mean, for next this coming week's episode.
Oh yeah, but like people can't just like it was like comicbook.com's Instagram account, and I'm thinking you already posted this. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning. You couldn't wait till later in the day. You have to share this shit right now of all the images. So I mean, like we kind of hadn't. Well, actually, I didn't know it was coming. So
that sounds like a you problem, man. You got to watch it sooner.
I like to wait to watch it with certain people. So whatever. Anyways, speaking of the MCU, so MCU stuff though, Wes, we did see some images from Thor: Love and Thunder. We got to look at Chris Hemsworth and how he's going to look in this movie, and we got to look at Chris Pratt, and we also got some images from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We saw Baron Zemo and U.S. Agent. Any of those guys? Anybody interested by any of those images we saw today?
Baron Zemo, the second greatest villain in the MCU to date. That's all I'm got to say about it.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, very, very confident.
So it's Thanos and then him?
Yes.
I think we're going to have to do an episode on that sometime.
The only 2 heroes who have accomplished their goals.
Villains.
Yes, thank you.
Well, no, I guess it depends on how you look at it. From West's perspective.
And that makes it a good villain when they believe in the thing they're carrying out. For me, it was Thor and his arms. I mean, I know he's bulking up for the Hulk Hogan movie, so it really doesn't matter if you're fucking a god if you look a little bit bigger. But I need to know what his arm day routine is, and I've said this before. I'll say it again. I can see why women find him attractive to the point where I might as well just admit I'm attracted to him because he legitimately looked like a god.
He did. You're absolutely right.
Hair looks great. He looks great.
The single braid going down there is very cute.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I would like to see his arm routine though. I do like him, Henry Cavill, Hugh Jackman when he was playing Wolverine. All those routines. Yeah, they got some good shit. I don't know how they do it. I remember seeing like the 300 workout for the Spartans. That shit was nuts.
It has to be HGH.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they're in Hollywood.
We're gonna pump you up full of drugs, and then we're gonna hire, Gunnar Peterson, strength trainer to the stars. No big deal. I interviewed him on my other podcast, and he's gonna get you all pumped up.
Of course,
that's the secret.
Yeah, I think Chris Pratt has admitted that he took some kind of substance.
Yeah, they all do. They absolutely do. More MCU news. Stop me, crazy MCU wave here. Disney Plus, Ryan Coogler agree on a Wakanda series development in Disney Plus. What do you think this means for Black Panther 2, which was set to come out on July 8th, 2022?
Well, I mean, I guess they found a way to pivot after the passing of Chadwick Boseman. I'm assuming they're going to invest more in Shuri, but with the show, I don't know what they're going to do with that. Or maybe are you saying that they're replacing Black Panther 2?
I think they're going to push back Black Panther 2. I think this goes back on the back burners. I think it's tough to replace Chadwick Boseman. I don't think they even really want to necessarily touch that. But I think with this Wakanda series, it allows them to kind of carry on and then build up to eventually just replacing someone. To come out with a Black Panther 2 and have a new Black Panther without really any setup, I think this allows them that opportunity. And then I think it also brings up a really cool opportunity for Dr. Doom to come into the fold at some point with Latveria kind of could be Sokovia. They have really cool ties in the comics too.
Yeah, Doc brings up a good point in the chat, and I was going to ask this question. Do we know whether or not it was a prequel to Black Panther? Because that would be what I would want to see. I would want to see the timeline of that movie.
King T'Chaka.
Yeah.
I would like how they get the Wakanda vibranium and all that stuff. I like that. That would be really interesting. Maybe it could be a little flash forward, a little flashback sort of thing, get both of them involved. I like that. That could be really cool.
Ooh, I like this last little addition that you have to the news, Wes. This is a good one.
Yes, Netflix is developing a film. This is like super fast here. This is right on the heels of the Tiger King, Nick Cage a la movie here. Netflix is developing a film on the Wall Street Bets Bros / GameStop stock craziness. It's been going on the past week. Yeah, exactly. Deadline is reporting that Noah Centineo, who starred into All the Boys I've Loved, P.S. I Love You, will star, and an Oscar-winning writer, Mark Bowl. Talks to write the script.
I'm 1,000% going to want to watch this, and I would think we would do an episode on this too, Wes.
This is like The Big Short, meets Wolf of Wall Street, meets Social Network, right? This could kind of be like one of those cool things.
Are they going to cast you in this, Wes?
Are they going to No, I got froze out before I could even get in, man. What they should get is Mac's college buddy who knew about this back in November. Then,
so should we start
this information with us at all?
So the next big story, should we just pitch a Netflix thing right away? Because this is kind of crazy that they already have this, because it hasn't even played out. You don't know the ending of this movie yet.
It doesn't matter. This goes to prove the lack of originality in Hollywood right now. And they're like, let's just take real events. It's like, it's like fucking Dick Wolf is producing.
I was just going to say, it's a rip from the headlines.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad I connected on that joke. That was good. I'm done for the day here.
Okay. Well, I was going to segue into this off of that, but that would have been real mean. Just pick of the pod, Dustin Diamond. What's weird, guys, is so I watched, I was going to say this for the quarantine corner, but I watched Jojo Rabbit the other day, and the child actor in it is outstanding. And I said, well, hopefully he doesn't turn into, a certain actor who was good as a child actor and then sucked later on. Then the next day I found out the same actor who I insulted has died. That was kind of weird.
That's bad karma, man. You got to light some sage and say a quick Hail Mary or something. A couple Our Fathers.
I once gave Julia Child a death sentence. I said, "Isn't she dead?" And the next day she died.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. And who doesn't love Julia Child? So I felt bad about that.
Oh, you're terrible.
Yeah. Then did you go and try to play the lottery or see if these telekinetic abilities worked outside of just?
I think I stayed in the house all day just in case something bad happened to me. But it's she was older. This is a guy who passed away far too young.
Yeah, only 44 years old.
Yeah, and isn't Julia Child? Isn't she known for cooking with fat?
Oh yeah.
like lard. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
I'll catch up with you.
All right, well, I say it's time for us to go over to the Comic Book Minute presented by Rogue Grips. Use promo code FRIAR on roguegrips.com to get 25% off your first order. And this week, I reviewed Future State, The Next Batman, which has been a huge hit series. And I know Doc is reviewing Superman and Metropolis, which we talked to Sean Lewis about on TLDR, which you can find here on the Change My Mind audio channel, as well as Geeks Worldwide Radio. And also a big one, Wes, I told you about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that series. I was very excited about that. Never got a chance to pick it up. Well, the trade came out this week. It's just a 5-issue series. I'm in the process of reading it right now. I like it through the first 2.5 issues, and I will be talking about it this week on TLDR. For sure.
Got 2 hard nipples, Nick. That's very exciting news.
Nice. Now I just got to go for the trifecta and get you a Pants Tent City. But we'll talk about it more on TLDR later on in the week. Of course, we stream that on Wednesdays, and the audio comes up on Fridays for you guys here and on Geeks Worldwide Radio. Before we switch out of the Comic Book Minute, though, Bill, are you reading anything these days?
Instagram in the morning and at night in the afternoon. That's about it. Twitter.
Right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Am I reading things? No, I'm looking at pictures. That's not.
Well, sometimes girls post pictures of a quote, so you got to read that.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. I like
there you
that.
go. Hey, there are pictures of
text are like half of Instagram now.
That's good. Yeah, you do need a good graphic card every now and again. That's good. Speaking of graphic cards, on to segue number 3 here. Look at that graphic card if you're on our live stream. Bill the Cinema 2004 movie draft. How about that, Nick? Nailed it. So this is what you do. You know, of course, you may be a little unfamiliar with this new game that we like to do here on the Change My Mind podcast. Go back and take a listen to our episode with the pick of the pod, Lucy Burge, for the Build a Cinema 2000 movie draft. So here's the deal. We have 6 categories. So we have blockbusters, which is defined as any movie that made more than $100 million in domestic box office. Action adventure, comedy, horror or animated, drama, wild card, utility, the Ben Zobrist category, if you will. And then just as a little bit rule explainer, say, for example, Spider-Man 2 came out this year. That made more than $100 million and is an action adventure movie. Say if that goes with the first pick, you can put that in either category. So then, you still have maybe action adventure. Maybe if that's a loaded category, you want to keep that open and there's not a lot of blockbusters. There's a little bit of strategy involved.
Do I have to choose that right away though? Or can I switch it? Can I make a late round addition?
Yeah. I think you could do that. We'll allow that here.
Yeah, you can say that this is going to be my action movie, and if it falls under, you can switch it out and make it your wild card later on. Sure, we'll allow that. We haven't done that before, but
yeah, I think that works though, because in a normal fantasy draft, right? You got to make changes. You got to pivot on the fly. Sometimes, Nolan Arenado is going to be your third baseman, but maybe he switches over to the DH.
Yeah, because
he plays in St. Louis.
Aaron Boone's available, right?
Right.
Yeah, he plays in St. Louis. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so let's see, Wes. We got to go over a couple things before we reveal the draft order.
Right. And 2004 was a great year. I'm happy you brought this up, Nick. The 77th. I've 77ed on the notes right down there. 77th Oscars Best Picture nominees took place in February 2005. A little allusion to what we were talking to before. That's full circle, baby. $1 Million Baby was the winner, followed by The Aviator was nominated, Finding Neverland, Ray, and of course the wine aficionado classic Sideways.
And then the Golden Globe Best Motion Pictures nominees were, The Aviator, which won, Sideways, which won for comedy, Closer, Finding Neverland, Hotel Rwanda, Kinsey, $1 Million Baby, Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind, The Incredibles, and Phantom of the Opera, and Ray.
Yes, and of course, who could forget our favorite movie award show, the 2005 MTV Movie Awards, which took place in June. The movie of the year went to Napoleon Dynamite, followed by Kill Bill Volume 2, Spider-Man 2, Ray, and The Incredibles.
And then there are the 25th Razzie Award winners for Worst Picture. The winner was Catwoman, which actually came up recently in one of our conversations.
It did, right? How ironic.
Yes, and then we also have Alexander that was nominated, Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
Ooh, yeah.
And then White Chicks.
White Chicks is great.
Yeah, I don't think White Chicks belongs on there. But so there's a nice question before we open things up to the draft. Who won 2004? I have a couple list of nominees for you folks, and if there's anyone else that jumps out at you, please feel free to jump in. My first nominee, I think this is the clear-cut winner in my opinion, Ben Stiller. He had 2 blockbuster comedy hits with Dodgeball and Meet the Fockers, as well as a comedy classic and Along Came Polly, and then a mediocre run-of-the-mill comedy movie in Starsky and Hutch. 4 movies in 2004. 3 great hits.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, not the Jim Carrey one where he had, what was it, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Ace Ventura all came out in 1 year, I think, too, like 93. But yeah, I mean, it would definitely be Ben Stiller. He was awesome.
So I think a close second, Nick was very close to bring this up too. Vince Vaughn, he co-starred in a lot of these movies, of course, Dodgeball and Starsky and Hutch, but Anchorman as well. So to kick flip off of that, you got Will Ferrell, who had Anchorman come out, of course, Rock the Nation. And he was also just coming off Elf, which came out in December of 2003. So, kind of right around there.
Yeah, I think the best one, though, as much as Ben Stiller is definitely a worthy candidate, Wes, I think the best one you mentioned was Rachel McAdams. I mean, The Notebook and Mean Girls. I mean, those are 2 grand slams. As much as good as Dodgeball is.
Genres too, like completely different kinds of movies.
Mm-hmm. And you talk about making a big splash. I mean, we just said goodbye. Another pick of the pod here, Dustin Pedroia. Bursting onto the scene, winning the Rookie of the Year, the World Series, the MVP, the Silver Slugger, the Golden Gloves in his first 2 years in the position. I mean, her first year really in Hollywood, right, comes out with The Notebook and Mean Girls and 2 classics we still talk about today. Yeah,
I would say that New England were the winners in 2004 because the Patriots and the Red Sox won. But I think for the sake of this, I'm going with Rachel McAdams.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to give some love for Jamie Foxx real quick. Ray was on there, and then he also was in Collateral, which is a nice kind of underrated Michael Mann film. Tom Cruise plays a villain.
He stole the acting chops. Like, he was the better actor in that film. And Tom Cruise, I don't think has eever been bad. He's been in a couple of bad movies, but he's never been bad in a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. He gets no love. He's crazy, but he's good. I love him and all that stuff. Okay, so let's hop down to it, Nick. What did we decide for our draft order here? Well,
we tend to give our guests honor of first pick because it only seems fair. Last time we had a lady on. Today we do again as well. So I feel like Bill's going to go first. Sporting a Change My Mind shirt, which I appreciate very much. It looks great on you, Bill. Makes the chest look outstanding. I don't know if that's appropriate for me to say or not, but here we are. Then I am going to go number 2 because I believe Wes. We're going with that. Wes is going to go number 3. I forget how we decided after that, but you're 3rd.
Oh, no, you won rock, paper, scissors, so I thought you had a choice.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I forgot. That's right. I won rock, paper, scissors, and I want to. So There we go.
All right. So with the first pick in the 2004 Bill the Cinema Movie Draft, Billy D, step to the podium. You are on the clock right now.
I think it's a no-brainer, and it's really fortunate you gave this to me. I'm glad you did. I don't think I would have been as gracious on my podcast, but I am taking Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, because I think it is, if not the funniest movie I've ever seen, definitely one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, probably in my Mount Rushmore of comedies, if not just outside the top. There are so many quotable lines, and it gets better every time you watch it. It gets funnier. Will Ferrell, everybody in this movie is amazing, and there's so many legendary things from this movie.
Now, this one falls under Blockbuster, right, Wes? I don't remember checking the box office on this.
It's got 100 no, it doesn't. It's 90 million.
Yeah, no, did not fall. Not a whole lot of movies fall under. There's probably about a dozen or so that fell under the 100 million blockbuster category. So this is immediately going to the comedy or your wild card round, whatever you so choose there. I think that's a great pick. I think there were 2 real options here, just kind of based on our audience and style. I think this was one of them. I mean, you can't really screw up that first pick.
For the number 1 pick or for the comedies pick, Wes?
Number 1 pick.
Number 1 pick, yeah. I think the other one was Spider-Man 2. Which is what I'm going to go with in this one because look, we actually did a whole episode talking about which is better, Spider-Man, the original or original Raimi Spider-Man or the second version of it. Wes argued for the second one. Rossi wouldn't appreciate that because he thinks every second movie in a trilogy sucked, which is such a weird. I don't, Bill. Honest to God, I know I give you a ton of shit, but
I don't know how I do it. Yeah,
I don't know how you do it on a week-to-week basis. I listen to you guys, and I'm just thinking, what the fuck is like? How is Billy not insane right now? But Spider-Man 2 is obviously an outstanding movie. As much as I argued on behalf of Spider-Man 1, Doc Ock is outstanding in this, and to me, it's either this 1 or 2. I kind of thought it would be number 1, but Anchorman's a solid pick too.
Yeah, the top 2 played out exactly how I thought it was going to be. So, no harm, no foul there. I think, again, top 2 no-brainers here. Number 3, I'm going to go in the blockbuster category. And I think I have to do this because without this movie, there would really be, without the story, I should say, there would really be no other basis for movies ever existing. There would be no point of existence for any of us.
You take Citizen Kane?
No,
Citizen Kane is a good one there.
I know what he's thinking.
But without that, even go way back before then, Charlie Chaplin without, way back to a time maybe BC.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about the time, of course, of the Passion of the Christ, which was directed by Mel Gibson, starring Jim Caviezel, and pulled in $370 million. I saw this movie in theaters with my mother. Had a terrific cry, and was really just an out-of-body experience. I would be remiss if I did not take this and just kind of keep up with the ongoing shtick of being the God guy.
No, I've been to your house, Wes. You don't need to tell people that's a shtick. It's a real thing. He's got a cross in every single room.
I mean, look at this. It's all wood in his house too. He's like he's a carpenter, so he's basically Jesus, right?
Listen, I don't want that's blasphemous. Okay, only Jesus, Jesus. Okay, I just try to follow the good book. That's all.
Yeah, you're like what is it? The guy from the original Meet the Parents, where he just tried to follow in Jesus's footsteps and be a carpenter.
yeah, exactly that. What was it, Owen Wilson's character?
Yeah.
I gotta say, Bill, I'm surprised that it took you as long as it did to realize what Wes was taking for his first overall pick.
I forgot that movie came out.
Yeah, it freaking killed in the box office, and apparently
it was like one of the highest grossing films worldwide, like of all time, for like a while. As you can imagine, it's based on the greatest story never told.
Did you throw out the number already? Because I think I saw on IMDb it was like 370 million.
Yeah, 370 million domestic.
Domestic?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So it's coming back to me. So I apologize for killing time here. So I have the Passion of the Christ. Then I think I'm going to go to comedy because I think that's a really loaded category. And I want to make sure I get something that I really need there. So I think I'm going with Mean Girls here. Because there's a couple other comedies I like. I might be able to come back and get some of the more niche ones, but this is probably after Anchorman, the premiere comedy of 2004. Again, still holds up to this time. What a moment for Lindsay Lohan. She was the screensaver on my home PC for a while. Maya had the Mighty Have Fallen. That's all I got to say about that.
So
mine was Maya back in the day.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So you're gonna go into the stacked category and make an early pick there when it's not the number one no-brainer pick in Anchorman. Does that make sense?
Well, you could also slide this in a box office if you needed to, because this made over 100 million.
Yes, but I'm using Passion of the Christ as my blockbuster because there are certain dramas that I would like to keep open. So I got a strategy here. I appreciate the help.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a real kick in the pants. You know what? I'm going to be that guy because you just took what I was going to take. And for those who don't know, Wes alluded to this earlier in the episode. We did an episode on Harry Potter versus Lord of the Rings a while back, and I was on the Lord of the Rings side. But I do love Harry Potter. I just want it to be known. And my favorite book, although I did stop reading the books after the fifth one, which I did like that one too. My favorite Harry Potter book is number 3, The Prisoner of Azkaban, which is what I am going to take right here. I'm going to have that be my blockbuster, and I'm going to have Spider-Man 2 be my action adventure.
Well, that's tough for me because I really do love that movie. I was hoping to get it even later because I didn't know if either of you guys would take it, so that's a great pick there. So I'm going to have to scramble here because I really thought I was going to be able to get Mean Girls, especially when he took the Passion of the Christ. So
it's an odd juxtaposition.
I think I'm just going to
back-to-back picks, I could do that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to skate my lane here, and let me actually just check real quick what it did at the box office.
Oh, I feel good about my third pick too. Oh my God, this is going
Let's
now.
see here. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to take Dodgeball, true underdog story, and just, corner the market on the best comedies of the year, really. I mean, Mean Girls is up there too, obviously. But I remember seeing this in theaters with about 14 friends. And it was one of the, all-time movie-going experiences. I think it doesn't get as good every single time you watch it, but it's still an enjoyable watch every single time. And then I'm going to corner the market on horror, and I'm going to take Saw.
Okay.
That's a great one. Yeah. Pretty good year for horror movies, actually. Surprisingly, for not being a horror guy, saw more of these than I thought.
Yep. Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
Yeah. But I think as far as comedies, too, I think this has played out all chalk so far as Anchorman, Mean Girls, Dodgeball, best 3 movies of the year. So I think we're kind of nailing it so far, not to pat ourselves on the back too much.
I'm kind of surprised how Dodgeball, it hasn't aged poorly necessarily, but it's not. When that came out, it was so friggin' popular. I felt like for at least a year, maybe 2, and it just kind of went away. It doesn't get that same. I know that Superbad is a coming of age movie and everything, and there are other ones that are like, Hangover was just so unique and so different from what we've seen. But Dodgeball got a ton of hype for a while, and it doesn't get that same treatment that the others necessarily do. That I felt like we're on a similar level, at least when they first came out.
Maybe we should talk about it. Maybe we should get on the soapbox. I like that.
All right. Well, maybe we can. Maybe we'll do that sometime. Let's see. So I am all set at Blockbuster.
Very insincere. So that sounded very insincere.
Well, I'm trying to pivot into my draft. I like my picks because I got to focus on this too. All right. So, all right, I'm going to go out of the drama category because I think there were 2 clear-cut drama picks here. One of them has already been taken in The Passion of the Christ, and I'm glad you had it, Wes. I would have felt bad if I stole that from you. The next one to me is a no-brainer, and I believe we did an episode on rom-coms versus romance movies way back when we were at the WBSM studios with Tim. West. I'm going to take The Notebook for my number 3 overall pick.
Not surprising. This seems like something right up your alley. I feel like you're a real fault in our stars type of guy, but The Notebook seems appropriate for this year.
Thank you very much.
I had never seen The Notebook until about 2 years ago.
Billy, I love it. I think we were in the same boat. I avoided that movie for the longest time until I watched it with my wife. So
I watched it with a girlfriend at the time, and it was pretty good.
I did not see it the year it came out. I didn't see it till college with my then girlfriend, and I did cry watching that a few times.
Well, yeah. Tell me something I don't know. Am I right, guys? Am I right?
I cry at everything. So
yeah. I haven't felt anything in years. So moving forward to my 2 picks, right? Is that what's going on now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have action adventure open. Let's see. I got horror animated. I got drama. I got utility here. This is a tough one. Okay, so I'm going in the wild card category. Give me Along Came Polly.
Okay.
I love this movie. I think it's sneaky, one of Ben Stiller's greatest movies. Rest in peace, pick of the pod, right? To our man, what's his name? Why am I blanking on his name there? You know who I'm talking about. Oh,
no,
he's the fat guy with the white hair.
The fat guy.
William Capote.
Who?
He played William Capote. Won an Oscar. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Doc got you in the chat. So, all right, we're good. Anyways,
Dustin Hoffman.
Yes. Whatever. Wes, I think your pick again.
Yeah, it's me. Okay. Sorry, I'm flustered here. I'm a little flustered. Okay, so all right, what else do I have here?
I don't know. Are you keeping track?
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of like I'm trying to buy some time here. All right. So for a drama
there are so many movies in this one, and you were ready for this way before me. I'm surprised.
I know, but there's a lot of good movies to choose. Give me The Butterfly Effect. For a drama movie.
That movie's terrible.
Oh, it's Ashton Kutcher. You got Ethan Suplee. You got fat Ethan Suplee. You got is it Amy Reed or I think it's Amy Reed, not Amy Ryan.
I didn't love that movie. I'll tell you that.
I refuse to see that movie. Ashton Kutcher, I'm all set. Thank you very much.
I would like to point out that the last Build a Cinema draft that we had, Nick chose Requiem for a Dream for his drama category. So I just want to point that out there.
Yeah, and I think who did Lucy end up winning that draft?
I think I did.
You did. Okay. Well, Lucy also took, was it Norbit first or the Clumps? Something like that? The
Clumps too.
The Clumps too.
It's a good movie.
Number 1 overall pick, Bill. That's what she went with.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Bold choice. You probably could have got that in the last round, but I like it.
Yeah, probably could have. Okay. All right. I am going to go into the wild card category. And this is actually, I believe, this also falls under the blockbusters. I'm going to go with the Incredibles. For my next pick. Of course, we took us forever to get the second Incredibles movie, and I actually still haven't seen that. I need to go watch that. But this was a great one as kids, and obviously you get Samuel L. Jackson in it, and then I can never remember the actor's name who plays Mr. Incredible, but all around fun time, and we were kids too.
Yeah, the mom's my kind of lady too. She's thick
with 3 C's.
Yeah,
a lot of C's. Have you ever seen that thing where it's like, who makes those movies? Pixar. It's like an idea meeting group, and they're like, what if we gave the mom an absolute dump truck for that? Because they do. Every one of them just has like a giant ass.
Just a grade A dumper. I love it.
Okay, so
you gotta give the dad something, right? To take the kid to see this.
They usually make him a little fat, that Fred Flintstone vibe. So I'm gonna go here because there's nothing really that I love. So I got to name my parents' dog a little while ago, and I named him after one of my favorite characters, throughout my college career. And it's Hector, who played a big role in the movie Troy, a great Brad Pitt movie. One of my favorite war drama type of movies. This is a little bit long, obviously, but it's one of my favorite stories, in that type of mythology. The Iliad and the Odyssey were 2 of my favorite books in college. I was an English major, and I did like the classics. So Brad Pitt as Achilles is phenomenal.
Yeah, he did do a really good job. A long movie. I think it still might be on Netflix now. But I really like that movie as well. I'll pencil that in for your drama right now.
Is that Orlando Bloom too?
Yes, Orlando Bloom. Yeah. I don't know who plays Hector, but whoever did is phenomenal.
Wait a minute. No, we've seen him in other shit before.
Orlando.
Is it Bana? Is it Bana that plays him? Hector?
Might be.
Or is Orlando Bloom? It is Bana.
Orlando Bloom plays the best-looking prince there, Paris.
Mm-hmm. But it was Eric Bana. I was right. Doc's got me in the chat. So, but yeah, what's funny is that came out, I believe, or at least I caught wind of it after Lord of the Rings. And we see, obviously Orlando Bloom is much more badass in those movies than he is in Troy. And I wanted to watch the movie at first, and they're like, oh, wait a second, no. He's kind of a wimp in this. I want no part of this. It took me years. I didn't see this till, I don't know, maybe.
Well, yeah, Paris is the classic, beta in this movie, and he's actually what you might call a beta cuck because he's trying to steal somebody's woman.
Might be, might be it.
Yeah. But well, he could. He wouldn't be the cuckold in this situation.
No, you're right. No, he wouldn't be the cuck. That's a good point.
He would be like a beta. I don't know what is the cucky in that situation. I don't know. Is there a term for that?
I don't know, but he's definitely a beta because
I agree.
Yeah.
So, I preemptively cucked him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There we go. I like that. Yeah.
He's soft either way. That's what
he's very soft.
Yes. Okay. All right. I believe the pick again is yours, Bill.
It is. Oh yeah, I get back to backs here. I was not prepared for that. So I'm scrambling here a little bit because I don't know. I didn't prepare as well. I was told about this last minute, so give me a second while I stall like crazy.
Fair enough.
Here.
No, that's totally fair. Yeah, we appreciate Bill, coming on last minute.
But who didn't like Soul Plane? I mean, I could probably take Soul Plane. That was a good movie, but I'm not going to do that. You know what? Oh, this is tough. Can I take Shaun of the Dead? Can I fit that in anywhere? Yeah, if I put Dodgeball at Blockbuster, I can make Shaun of the Dead my wild card, and I'll do that.
Okay. I think you're good then.
Okay.
Because it's a little comedy and a little bit of horror. It's a movie that I love. I think it's a fantastic movie if you like comedy, if you like horror. It was kind of like Zombieland before Zombieland. And, all of those movies by those guys are great. I think this might be the best one, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have 3 straight up comedies in this.
Well, technically Shaun of the Dead's a horror.
True. Yeah, of course. All right.
But a strong comedy year, though. You're playing to the strengths. I don't mind that. Nick, you're comedy not on the board yet. So you thought that was pretty deep, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I did, and I feel pretty comfortable going. I'm going to take a comedy here.
Take Napoleon Dynamite. Just take it.
Yeah, I was gonna take Napoleon Dynamite because I feel like that's a safe pick. I did not expect Bill to go with 3 comedies in this. I thought for sure the third person was going to get Anchorman, but it's crazy. Like, I know people say comedy is dead. I think it's going through an evolutionary process. Of course, we still get some good stand-up stuff on Netflix, and we see a lot of comedy. We see more. I guess maybe we get more comedic elements in non-comedy movies now, but straight up comedies, those have kind of died off. But we'll see a resurgence at some point.
Well, not to be the PC police here, but it is tough to really make an edgy comedy movie these days because you really have to toe the line well, or just not give a shit about what anybody thinks about your film. So I think we're doing a little bit of that, and I think a lot of the good comedy people of our time kind of faded quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they were part of a different era. It's that's why I say it's not dead. It's just it's in a dormant period now because I think as a society we're just going through a lot of changes and we're realizing certain things that were thought to be funny now just are friggin' like a-hole things to say, and we're learning who can say certain things and who can't and whatever. So before we were getting too philosophical and all this, I'm taking Napoleon Dynamite.
Everyone knows, the funniest thing in all comedy is to explain comedy. So I think we're really hitting the nail on the head right now.
Well, I am the funniest person in the DSG, so I think it's I have to be talking about this kind of stuff.
If Nick's operating system has been uploaded to understand the theory of comedy, but he hasn't quite yet mastered comedy.
I'm going with Napoleon Dynamite here. I don't need to say anything else. Vote for Pedro.
Steal of a pick, though. That's a great pick this late.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is coming to me for my final 2 picks here. I have action adventure open, and I have horror or animated. Okay, so for action adventure, there's a lot of really good options here. Kill Bill Volume 2, I feel bad leaving that off. Day After Tomorrow, Born Supremacy. Friday Night Lights I loved, but I love Nick Cage. This is the movie. This is the Indiana Jones of our generation. I can watch this movie at any point in time, whether it's on TNT, and just get sucked in, get Shawshank for it. National Treasure. This could be a blockbuster, but it's an action adventure movie. So give me a National Treasure for that. A big Nick Cage fan. And my horror animated.
So stupid. I just don't get it. Why?
I love it. Hey, you like what you like. What can you? The heart wants what a heart wants.
I will say that, like Nick Cage then. I mean, I watched the movie as a kid, but Nick Cage then versus what we saw in the what was the Netflix special? The Origins of Swear Words or whatever that thing was called.
I haven't watched that yet, actually.
You still all right? I don't want to ruin it for you. I'm not going to say anything then. But watch it.
I don't care. I mean,
well, okay. You know how like whenever you have somebody where you laugh at them because they're so outrageous or because they do something. Like, and then you hope that they don't realize that you're laughing at them because then they lean into it too much and then it doesn't necessarily work. Like Rossi, right? When it comes to his bad takes, he doesn't want to be cognizant of it because then he feels like he's going to either avoid it or try and lean into it too much where it becomes obvious. Nick Cage did that with his acting in that Netflix special.
Oh yeah, he's done that for like the last 10 years, I feel like, which I think is part of his charm.
Okay, did you feel like he'd done it in Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider 2?
Yes.
It's worse than this one.
Okay.
But
that's why you get Nick Cage. You don't get Nick Cage to play the straight guy. You get Nick Cage to be insane. I've actually never seen National Treasure. That is one that has escaped me my whole life, actually.
Oh, I see. I think it's a fun time. I think you have a good time with it. It's cheeky and corny and all that kind of stuff, but it's fun.
I love Nick Cage, so I will watch it eventually.
But he jumps the shark on it or whatever. Like he goes a step too far is what I'm saying. Tell me when you watch. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not a Nick Cage guy. All right. So whatever.
Well, I'm not a Nick Fryer guy. So we're all good.
Oh, well, there we go. There's the shots that we've been waiting for. Mark that, Nick. That's at 48.
I'm not marking shit for this dickhead. Go ahead. Make another pick.
My last one with a
Or you caught off guard again, Wes. Oh, I don't know. I've been preparing for this draft for 3 weeks.
Yeah, we were talking here. So, I was thinking about M. Night Shyamalan, a movie there, but that's a really I saw this movie in theaters in good faith. I don't think I can pick it. It's not really a horror movie. But so I'm going to go with Open Water. I don't know if you guys ever seen this, but this is based off a true story. And it's just basically this couple goes snorkeling on their honeymoon and gets caught off water and they get eaten by sharks overnight. And it's one of those movies that you get anxious if it's like inside of a plane or in a submarine, and just the idea of being in like a wide open area could still feel very suffocating, and that type of anxiety. Like I don't know if you ever seen like Gravity, like that type of like anxiety feeling that you have when they're out in space. Like that's the same type of thing there. It's not like a traditional horror movie, but
yeah, it could be. Anything with a shark, I'll give you horror, right? I mean, Jaws is horror. What was that movie where the guy like cut his arm off? Was that 27 hours or whatever it was?
Yeah, 127 hours.
127. Yeah, 27 hours is probably extreme to cut your arm off, but it is like one of those like they're just kind of out in the middle of the ocean the whole time, like kind of one or two camera shots, just they're just chilling, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I saw it younger. Like, it probably wouldn't interest me much now, but I remember that really messed with me at a young age. Especially, living out, I don't know if you guys know this, but living out in Cape Cod where there's sharks.
Brag.
Wait, you what?
He lives in Cape Cod where they have time to time have sharks.
Yeah, in Cape Cod. Yeah, exactly. As I said, on Cape Cod. It doesn't.
Tomato.
Oh, really? A real true Cape Codder wouldn't say that.
No, I just don't have patience to have this conversation. We're 50 minutes in here. I'm trying to be cognizant of our guest time here.
Oh, all right, fair enough. All right.
Derail the whole episode.
I don't really give a shit about Billy. I don't know why he's here. So, all right, I'm in a tough spot now because I have two picks that I want to go with, and I have to either go with my heart or kind of my heart, but at the same time, I feel like this one will get better votes. And these are two movies that aren't necessarily beloved, but for me, they are. I think The Punisher, was it Thomas Jane? I don't care.
Yeah.
That was, I think that's an underrated movie. I think it was if you make that now with him, it does a lot better because there are just some things about it that make it clunky. But in general, Punisher is supposed to be a clunky individual as well. So in the way he moves and fights and everything. So I really like that one. Part of me wants to go with that, but also my heart really wants to go with Van Helsing, which I am unapologetic and loving. I think, is it Mac and Goo? They hate Van Helsing. It's not like
I thought for sure you were taking Christmas with the Cranks because that came out in 2004 as well.
No, I'm not taking it here. It
was like 6th on your Christmas list, though.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it's number 8. Number 8 ahead of Home Alone, famously. I think. I swear to God, that movie did make me cry. By the way, Christmas with the Cranks. I wasn't kidding about that. Let's see. All right,
Yeah, he'll do that to you.
All right, I'm going to go with my heart here. I really want to go with Punisher, but I'm going to go with Van Helsing here because I love that movie. That is a movie where if it popped on anywhere, I think it used to be on FXX for a while. If it popped on, I'm watching it 1,000%. I don't care what anybody says. So I just handed you The Punisher on a silver platter, Bill.
Well, I don't want it because I don't. It is the only category I have left, but I am a big Michael Mann guy. I know he was mentioned earlier in the podcast. He's had a lot of great movies. I studied him in film class growing up, those big scenic escape shots, But I love the movie Collateral. I'm a huge Tom Cruise guy. Jamie Foxx blew me away in this movie. The ending's great. The coloring of this movie is really nice. It's really gritty, and it's a great story. It's basically like a modern day. What was that movie with Dave Bautista where he hopped in the Uber as like the hitman or whatever the hell it was? So it's a really cool kind of Stuber. A really kind of cool concept of like he gets the taxi and all of a sudden he's this driver for a hitman, and it's a pretty amazing movie, and it has one of the greatest lines I've ever heard. It's like, "You killed him." He's like, "I didn't kill him. The bullet in the fall killed him." So a lot of good lines in this one as well. A little bit of comedy as well. So. And it was a box office smash. I think it made $222 million or something.
Yeah, and I think Jamie Foxx does a really good job of kind of playing this, like, it's kind of like the same role that he does in Electro, this kind of like loser guy who finds this, self-confidence and strength midway through the movie, but he's kind of like a nerd throughout the beginning. Like, that's kind of what he does with Electro and Spider-Man 2, right?
Yeah, pretty much what he does.
Kind of the same thing. I love that pick. I think that's a great pick here. How about a couple before we go through our list here? A couple honorable mentions. Ocean's 12. That made
great movie.
Box office. I think that's the worst of the Oceans, even including.
Really?
Ocean. Yeah, I do. I don't like the European stealing from like the thief off sort of thing. Like, I don't like that. That's not for me.
Is it not Silver Fox? Is that right?
Night Fox. The Night
Fox. Okay.
Foxer. Meet the Fockers, not the Foxers. That was another good option there. Cellular. Did you ever see that? Chris Pine, Kim Basinger, Jason Statham. That's a good action movie.
Oh yeah. I've seen that a couple of times just because it's been like on TV. Like
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like a good HBO type of like mind-numbing action movie.
Jason Statham plays the bad guy, right?
Yes, William H. Macy is a cop in there, as you might guess. Born Supremacy, I think we mentioned. Kill Bill Volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
Walking Tall, like early rock movie.
Yep.
Pretty good, based on a true story, too. I like that. I think he's walking around with a 2x4, which I really appreciate.
A lot of people don't like that one because older people think the original was like a phenomenal movie. I've never seen the original, but he's really good in that. I like Friday. Did we mention Friday Night Lights? And
no, we haven't. That's a great one as well.
Club Dread's another one.
Yes. Yeah, Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Cult comedies, if you want to talk about that. Euro Trip. The Girl Next Door. I had a great Team America, World Police. Nick, I'm surprised you didn't take Hellboy. I know you're a big Hellboy fan. That was out there.
Oh, shit. That came out this year, too. That's right. Fuck. I forgot about that. That is such a better movie than the... Look, I don't hate the Hellboy that came out. Was it last year or the year before? I do not hate it like everybody else does.
I think that's the Davies' worst movie ever.
Yeah, and I think for the Mac and Goo hot dog scale or whatever, you have the Equator, and then I think Hellboy is like the next tier down, and that's like 6 hot dogs. And I understand why everybody hates it, and I will admit that it's not a good movie. But it's the thing is like easily admit that it's not a good movie. But the thing with that one is, when you read the comics, it makes a lot of sense for what they did. I think it was a terrible decision on their part because you're looking at as much as it's a big comic, it's still like a smaller audience and you could be reaching. So I didn't think I thought the Ron Perlman ones were much better done, but I'm still happy with my list. But that is a good call, Wes. I can't believe I didn't even have that down. Damn it.
Couple dramas on the list here. Man on Fire, Denzel, our boy Denzel, making a list. The Terminal with Tom Hanks. That was kind of a fun movie. Crash, that kind of felt like, I don't know if this started or was like right in the middle of those serendipitous interacting, interweaving lives of everyone, type movies, the Valentine's Days, the Crazy Stupid Loves, right? Those style of movies. Crash might be a little overrated, but that was very popular in the year. Closer, if you're a big Natalie Portman fan, you might like this movie. Clive Owen, who else is it? Jude Law, it was a pretty interesting movie. Hotel Rwanda, famously referred to by the Mac and Goo podcast, right? The Hotel Rwanda podcast, I believe they refer to themselves.
They were the podcast of procrastination now.
Yes, yeah. Shrek 2, big movie.
I was just going to say, that was the highest grossing domestic box office, I believe.
Yeah, not a big Shrek guy, though. Polar Express.
Yeah, I was never. I just didn't like the animation style in that.
Yeah,
behind it.
Dawn of the Dead, pretty good horror movie. Like that horror movie. That was the remake. I think that was who did that? Is it's an actor that Mac or a director Mac doesn't like. Is it Ryan Johnson?
Ryan Johnson, James Gunn. I don't know.
It might be Ryan Johnson. It might be the Snyder cut, Zack Snyder.
Oh, it is Zack Snyder. I think I looked this one up because it's one of the few horror movies I've actually seen.
Yeah, I've seen that too. It's a good one. My brother used to own it. I watched that one. Okay, so that's enough of the honorable mentions.
One more, Day After Tomorrow. Just throwing that out there. I don't know. Like, that was a blockbuster, and I thought that was really popular, but I feel like that it hasn't aged well at all. I'm not sure. I mean, that was supposed to be the end of the world coming in, 2008 for that one or something like that?
That's probably 2012. It was probably the Mayan calendar stuff.
Because was there a 2012 movie too?
Yeah,
right?
It was 2012. The Day After Tomorrow. There's Deep Impact. There's Armageddon. There's all these kind of brother sister type of movies. Mm-hmm. Also, superhero movie list. Blade Trinity.
Yeah,
probably the second best Blade.
No, it was the worst Blade, and if the best Blade is the original Blade and the second one are both awesome, and those movies do not get enough credit for starting like the comic book or superhero movie genre, because those played a huge part in it. They got the ball rolling.
There's a bar in Boston which I can't wait for it to open back up. It's called JM Curly's. Hopefully it didn't go out of business, and they play like weird alt like rap and rock from the 90s and all 3 Blades on a loop on the screen up. Like every time I've ever been in there, it's just Blade.
Oh, that's awesome.
Billy, what do you got on your Build a Cinema Theater 2004?
I'll tell you what, no girl's going to want to go to my theater, or at least it doesn't have any like classic chick flicks, as you would call them. But I got Anchorman.
Oh, because the movie's got it. Okay.
Yeah. Legend. Well, nobody's gonna want to go to a movie with me anyway.
That's what I meant.
Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Dodgeball: A True Underdog Story. So this was the big year of the semicolon comedy.
Yeah.
Saw for horror. Troy for drama. Shaun of the Dead for the wild card, and Collateral is my action movie.
Very nice, Nick. What do you got out of the 2 spot?
All right. Well, I did not think I was going to get Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and Spider-Man, yet here I am. Spider-Man 2, excuse me, yet here I am. Harry Potter is going to go under my blockbuster. I feel like I don't know if it made a little bit more, but it just seems like more of a blockbuster type thing than Spider-Man 2, as amazing as that is. For my comedy, I have Napoleon Dynamite, which took me a little while to see. I mean, it just looked so stupid at first, but everybody was watching it. And I was still a kid. I think I was like in 6th grade. So I got to see it. Everybody's seeing it. And of course, I always remember the butterfly stuff in addition to Uncle Rico and Vote for Pedro.
Love Kip.
For horror animated, I went the horror route with my horror action movie, Van Helsing, which I love. Hugh Jackman, my guy. I honestly, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I mean, like X-Men Origins Wolverine, kind of like that movie too. Then for drama, I have The Notebook, and for wild card utility, I have the animated hit, The Incredibles, which was also a blockbuster.
All right. So for a little bit of reflection, at the top of the marquee on the Wesley Sykes Build a Cinema 2004 theater is The Passion of the Christ. Come and repent in your sins. For action adventure, we have National Treasure, another Christ-like figure in Nicolas Cage. Comedy, we have Mean Girls. For the ladies, maybe all the women who aren't going to Billy's Theater would like to go to mine instead. Horror animated, we have Open Water. Everyone loves a good horror flick. Drama, we have The Butterfly Effect. Ashton Kutcher, very easy on the eyes. And then wild card utility, Along Came Polly, a romantic rom-com. You can have a little fun. Maybe toss some popcorn around. Cut a hole in the bottom. Who knows? See where things goes.
Did you guys try to hand this one to me on purpose? Like, did you guys talk about this beforehand?
I think Wes is automatically last, but I think I might win this.
He won the last one.
I went with my heart here. I'm just doing me.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes out of the 3 spot, that's probably your best bet.
Yeah. I mean, you got Mean Girls. Mean Girls
off the board. Go with the heart.
Yeah, Mean Girls is going to do a lot for you, though. That's true.
Yeah, that's a big one. I really wanted that one, and I thought I was going to get that one too at number 2. I really liked my spot, but whatever. Okay, it happens. All right. Well, that brings us over to the quarantine corner, where Bill, I'm sure you know from listening to the show, we talk about whatever's on our mind. Like, I don't think any other podcast has ever done that before, so it may seem a little revolutionary for you. But anything going on for you aside from PCP and I've Heard Both Ways?
Not really. I mean, I had a rough eating weekend. I think I put on about 5 pounds over this weekend, and I had been doing the fasting all week. So I got down, in an acceptable weight. Jeans were fitting okay. And then, of course, this weekend I rewarded myself with some six seams, some pizza, some wings, late night Wendy's run last night as well. So it was rough. But
so you're on that goo diet.
Yeah, sometimes, goo. Yeah, sometimes you just got to do it.
I love it. I think it's great. So I watched The Little Things on HBO Max, and I know. So I think Dork Podcast is talking about that this week or tonight or tomorrow. But so I that was of course starring Jared Leto, Rami Malek, and Denzel Washington. It's on HBO Max, if I didn't already mention that. So it's supposed to be kind of a crime thriller, and it kind of follows a pace. Like I feel like it's cut from a similar cloth of like neo-noir style, kind of wants to be Seven-esque, and like Jared Leto is painted as supposed to be this villain type, and you think he's supposed to be this like maniacal, perfect type of villain, like the perfect type of serial killer or murderer in this type of situation, and I was just disappointed with it. It didn't really materialize the way I wanted it to. It took the twist at the end of it, I thought was like, it turned from what could be a really good crime thriller into like a cautionary tale. And I'm like, no thanks.
Oh, I like that. I'm surprised you didn't like that.
Yeah.
Damn. I did catch that this weekend in addition to watching Jojo Rabbit, which I put off watching that.
Oh, you hadn't seen it?
No, I wait that and Knives Out. I haven't seen either one of them, and I've been putting them off for way too long. And Jojo Rabbit did not friggin' disappoint whatsoever.
I cried like a baby at least 2 points in that movie.
There was look, it's been far enough removed. I know this isn't a Jojo Rabbit, episode or whatever. We're not going to do one, but spoilers if you're like me and waited forever to watch it. When I saw his mom's fucking shoes, oh my god! I was like, I can't. I didn't cry, but I was just like, I had a hollow feeling in my chest. I was like, what the fuck? Like the rest of the movie, I just like, okay, great, whatever. But you killed ScarJo.
ScarJo was amazing. Everyone was brilliant in that movie, but she was exceptional.
Yeah, I didn't.
You haven't seen it?
No, I gotta watch it.
God damn it! Why didn't you stop me?
Yeah, you should have stopped it.
That means nothing to me. I don't know what that means.
Oh, come on! I don't.
It's true. Like no. You won't know what it means. And then the ending scene, I also bawled like a giant baby. I mean, it was just a beautifully done movie. Great comedy, great heart. I didn't see it in the theaters either, but like Mac was so vehement that this was something you had to watch. And when I watched it, I was blown away.
Yeah, he said that the World War II has been talked about, and Hitler and all has been done up so many different times, even in American cinema and whatnot. And they handled it very differently here, and they did a really good job. They just hit on like everything.
The 2 kid actors in it too, phenomenal.
Blown away, like
unreal.
It's Wes. I am so pissed that you didn't stop me
because I don't be able to enjoy it fully.
He will.
I
know, but still, you know how mad I got when you said the thing to me about I still haven't seen that fucking movie. I got mad at you over it. What the hell was it? The one with
Star Wars Born.
Yes, Star Wars Born, right? Yeah, that's it. Lady Gaga. Okay.
Yeah.
But all right, what's going on this week?
I also watched, this is a quick shout out on HBO Max. I've seen this movie before, but I know in the DSG chat we were talking about great drug movies. I think that was brought up on Mac and Goo at some point. HBO Max has a good drug movie right now, Savages, if you've ever seen it. I forget who directs it, but it's an action-packed. It has Benicio del Toro. It's got Aaron Taylor Johnson, Quicksilver guy there. It's also got Riggs from Friday Night Lights. What's Taylor Kitsch?
Oh,
you got your girl. What's her name from the town there? Blake Lively. Who they have some nice 3-way sax if you're interested in that. A lot of drugs, John Travolta, marijuana, Mexican cartel, Selma Hayek's in it. It's good stuff.
Taylor Kitsch is dead to me. That guy stinks. He was Gambit. Sucks. Awful.
Yeah. Hey.
Can't screw that character up. Sorry. But actually, he's bringing up best drug movies. I don't know if Mac and Goose are going to do it, but I feel like that is in PCP's wheelhouse because you guys talk about music more than anybody, and I feel like drugs and music kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
They did. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe you should do one. Maybe you should do an episode on like the best cocaine movie, the best heroin movie, and then by the end of it, you can do just a best drug movie, something like that.
Mount Rushmore of drugs.
Drug market. I like this.
Yes, just do it. Just do it on drugs first, and then do drug movies, just so that people have a little context. You can talk about it,
and then maybe release it on 420. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So, but actually, we're up to this week in DSG. And Bill, what are you guys doing? Follow up your talk about Mein Kampf.
Well, after that, we are, of course, going to do the best Super Bowl halftime shows. I believe a top 11. If you've never heard that before, it's Podcasters Dozen. I have some definitive views. I think Rossi likes crappy old guy bands, so it could be a very weird list, but I'm hoping he has some sense to put some of the younger pop people up there, too. And then I've heard it both ways is doing episode 11, which is a psych classic.
Okay, is that on the PCP audio channel still?
It is. We've been slowly uploading them. We should be getting them all up within the next couple of days.
Hey Rossi, if you're listening, fucking let's go. I want to listen to this shit. I watch them, but I'm also working when I'm watching them, so I can only half listen. I'd like to listen to it when I work out, like I do with Mac and Goo, which this week they did the 2020 Mac and Goo Vault. And then I believe Wes already mentioned that hashtag Dork is, we think, doing the little things, that's on HBO Max now. And of course, TLDR, we're talking comics. As I mentioned, I will be talking about the Falcon and Winter Soldier 5-issue series from Marvel. I don't know what Doc's talking about yet. And of course, Doc is one of our 3 streamers that you can go follow on Twitch. We also have Shime over there and Davey West. Anything? Actually, did we decide what we're doing next week or TBD?
No, you want to. It was your idea, right? What was?
Yes. Okay. I'm not sure how we're gonna label this exactly yet. You usually figure out the headlines like you can figure out last minute. But one of the movies I actually mentioned this earlier. Wolverine Origins. Of course, everybody talks about how good Hugh Jackman was, but that movie gets shit on all the time. It is not without its flaws, like most movies, but I do think that it catches a little more shit than it necessarily deserves. So I am going to talk with Wes next week about why that is a better movie than everybody says, and we'll see. I guess it's going to be an old-fashioned debate, and I'm going to be arguing for a movie that I don't think is as bad as everybody says it is.
Okay. Well, as long as you're not comparing it to Logan, you're good.
Well, yeah. Obviously.
I might compare it to Logan and say it's a better movie than that, and then we'll have a poll on see who won the debate.
Okay.
I need an easy win right now. Just be a layup.
Well, you might win this one. Who knows? I could be wrong. I think I have this one on lock. But Billy, where can everybody find you besides PCP? And I've heard it both ways.
You can find me on all the social media channels, even on Peloton if you want, at BillyD2411.
How does that work? How can
you can just follow my workouts if you download the Peloton app if you already have one.
Oh,
nice.
Are you sure?
I love it.
Are you sure you want people following there? Because then.
I mean, it might be too much for some people to handle me thinking of me that sweaty, but if you want to, feel free.
I more so meant that now you're actually going to have to work out.
Yeah, I mean, I do about 4 to 5, sometimes 6 times a week, depending on if I do legs at the gym or not.
How long? I've never done. Do you have a Peloton? No, you don't have. I know you don't have a Peloton.
No. It's too expensive. I'm not paying $2,000 for that.
Yeah, and you and I both just go to the gym all the time, so I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, the bike that I broke, the new one that I would have replaced it with would have been about $2,500.
Oh.
Like my real bike, and I can only ride that in like 4 months.
Right. Okay. Well, I understand how it's a sound investment.
And you get hit by cars too.
Yeah.
That is also true.
Really, I've been meaning to bring this up. Did you put together the question on the superlative documentary? Did you put together the majority of those questions?
The ones that were remaining, I think it was about half and half.
So the basketball question, I'm very intrigued. This one is really here. It stayed with me. Did you put that one